Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. I hope everybody's doing well. This is Zuharan, here playing some more competitive Temtem, just climbing the ladder or learning more and doing the same old, same old. I'm still working with the same team, no changes there. Still trying to climb the ladder and still trying to master the team, so to speak. I don't know if I'll be making progress today, but I'm certainly going to try, so I guess we will see what happens. Let's go. Okay. Ooh, lots of Luma. Let's ban Volgon, just because I don't like Electric Tems. And it looks like this is going to be a freeze team. So let's start with Minotaur. Okay. Tataru, who has Stone Ball, and Volarend. Who do I bring in this circumstance? I could bring in the Wally. Would that be better? Honestly, I think it's just I can't remember if it's aerobic or anaerobic, but whichever one boosts speed and minuses special defense. So let's bring in the Wally, so that way I can hasty lunge right out the gate. But I'm probably going to take a Stone Ball. I should be able to survive a Stone Ball though. Tyrannac, okay. Let's ban Whiplump, because I know that that's one of their linchpins for some of the freeze effects. Sorry, I almost said slow. Let's put Volarend in. Shuin and Momo? Okay, and it's probably Snowstorm Momo. Let's bring Acronox. And I think we're also bringing Platimus, just because it just kind of makes more sense to me. Oh, weird. Okay, so since I'm anticipating Stone Ball coming in, I'm thinking I'm going to Plague into Tataru and then Hasty Lunge into Volarend. And then we'll Plague into Tataru, and that should cut its stamina by quite a bit. Oof. Okay, so it did go after Luwali. That's interesting. Oh, they doubled into Luwali. Interesting. Okay. Well. I think they swap out Volarend here. And even if they don't, I could Purgation or I could Black Hole. By Purgation, that brings me down to 17. And I don't get 5 back, I get 4 back. That puts me at 21, which would put me way under Black Hole. So let's Black Hole Tataru. And then I think we're just going to Plague into Tataru again. Plague didn't do much of anything, honestly. Do I keep... No, let's swap out for, let's Black Hole into Tataru, and then we'll swap in Acronox for Luwali. Shuin, okay. Shuin prevents damage. Oh, I see what they're going to do. Okay, they're going to use, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it gives +4 to attack. It's not awesome. But I just did a buttload of damage. Rage, that's what it is. So normally what Rage downside to Rage is that you get a -3 to your defense, but because Shuin's Guardian triggers, it prevents the stat drop. So now it's just a +4 Tataru. I'm going to Piezoelectric Blow into that slot, just because I anticipate, well, how much? That's 39. Oof, okay. Maybe I rest Minotaur. Yeah, let's rest Minotaur. And then we're going to sting into Shuin. Well, okay, so the problem is that if I don't attack into the Tataru slot and Tataru uses Stone Ball, Tataru's going to delete Minotaur, which I do not want. But they're probably going to swap out. I would guess that they're going to swap out either for Momo or for Mimit. I don't think I can risk it. Let's Piezoelectric Blow, and then I'm going to sting into Shuin. Okay, cool. They did stay in. It's ballsy. I took a huge hit off of that, but it's fine. Double screen, okay. So Shuin stays in. Is trapped. Crystal Bite, that'll take out Minotaur. That's fine. Minotaur's done his job. For the most part. I would like to have had him stick around for Volorend, but honestly Volorend's so low right now that it's not a huge problem. Let's swap in the Wally. And I think they're probably going to bring Volorend in here. Oh, Momo, okay. Snowstorm? Yep. But I don't think they have anything that can freeze. So we're going to Plague into Shuin, and then we're going to Venom... Oop. They froze off my poison. That's annoying. Let's Sting into Momo then. Yeah. Oh, right, Guardian, I forgot. I should have stung into Shuin. Poor decision, club population me. And that'll freeze. Yeah. That's a bit of a bummer. So we're gonna Plague... We're gonna Plague into the Momo slot. They're probably gonna just use Undermine because they have no reason not to. Actually, let's Plague into Shuin because Shuin's probably gonna be using Sacrifice. And then we'll swap out Acronox for Volorend. Because Volorend can do some... well, yeah, Volorend's good on the special defensive side, so let's do that. Because I'm not using Strange Vest on my Volorend. Yeah, it is Sacrifice. Crap. That's really frustrating. I'm a bit annoyed that Loali did not go before Shuin. Ugh, cheap move, cheap move. It's fine. It's not cheap. It's totally legitimate. Okay, let's bring in Platimus. We're probably going to bring in Volorend. Yep. So I'm going to Water Blade into Volorend and then Feather Gatling into Volorend. Momo's kind of a problem, but its stamina is getting pretty low and they're running out of Tems. As soon as I knock out Volorend, Momo's trapped. And it has low stamina, so that's really kind of the big deal for me. Oh, that's gonna suck. Yeah, I didn't think it would kill, because it didn't have any speed boosts. Not quite enough, but Feather Gatling will take him out. Into Volorend? Oh no, into Platimus, okay. That's fine. So now Momo's trapped with really low stamina. And I have 2 Tems. One is Acronox, which is good, because Acronox just got unfrozen. And they don't have a Wind Tem, they have Mimit. Unless Mimit copy, I think it copies to the left? Frick, that's not great. That's kind of frustrating, actually. We're gonna Purgation Volorend. Yeah, if they hadn't duplicated Volorend, this would have been much easier, but of course, that did not go the way I had hoped it would. They probably are speed focused on their Mimit, if I were to guess. Which means that they're probably going to outspeed Acronox. Guess not. That or they weren't trying to go for Acronox, maybe? Momo OX, cool. Okay, Feather Gatling, that sucks. Oh, it didn't do that much damage, actually. Sweatband on Mimit? Wow, okay. We're gonna Sting into Momo, and then we're just gonna Feather Gatling into Mimit. Yeah. Let's get Momo out of the picture. And I think my Volorun should be able to handle Mimit from here on. Yeah. So we're just gonna Toxin Shower, and then we're gonna Feather Gatling again. Yep. Nice. Good game. Alright. Hot Toto. So this has some Digi. Just 2 specifically. So yeah, okay. It makes sense that they would ban out my Water Tem, because they have so many Fire Tems. Holy crap. 5? Okay, well, we're banning the Electric Tem, because that's going to be a problem. So many Fire Tems. Why do they have so many? They have so many that are weak to water. If I had a second Water Tem, they'd be in a lot of trouble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3 of which are 4 times to water. I mean, it's an interesting team comp regardless. I'm curious what their strategy is. What are they going to lead with? Or did they go AFK? I hope they don't go AFK. That would be kind of a bummer. Okay, Hedgen. Let's pick Acronox and Minotaur. I'm probably going to pick Drakash, that or Osakai. Yeah, they don't lose anything if they pick Drakash or Osakai, actually. It benefits them if they do, because none of my Tems really do anything. It would be better for me if they picked Osakai, because then I could Black Hole into Osakai. But honestly, I think they're going to be picking Drakash. They're not going to... Okay. Into Minotaur? It's an odd decision, but alright. Let's ban Drakash. Yeah, let's ban Drakash. Just because... Okay. Osakai, cool. Let's bring Tirnak. I want to bring Tirnak here. And then I think we bring Tolkien. Just because of all the Fire Tems that they have. And also they have Platimus in the back. I think they're probably going to pick Tirnak. Yeah, that makes sense. Who do I pick here? I could pick Golzy, because they have 3 Tems that are weak to electric. So yeah, let's pick Golzy. Is it Heater? I'm guessing it's Heater. Yep. So that's the main strategy. It seems like you bring Tolkien in right out the gate. So let's Soil Steam into Hedgen, and then we're going to Hasty Lunge into Hedgen. Who do they bring in? They bring in Platymus, but I don't think they bring in Platymus. They could bring in Tyrannac. Honestly, I could see them bringing in Tyrannac. I'm mainly concerned about receiving a digital attack into Minotaur, which is why I'm thinking of doubling into Hedgen, but I might just swap out for Tyrannac and then Hasty Lunge into Tolkien. Just because I think that they're going to be going for Acronox, that's why they picked Tolkien out the gate. %, despite the burn. Wow. That hurts. Oh my god. And then Fiery Soul on top of it. They doubled into the freaking Minotaur slot. That's frustrating. That's really frustrating. We'll bring in Golzy. Golzy's also weak to... honestly, Tyrannac was probably a bad bring. Not a bad bring, just doesn't really do anything into Fire Tems, and they have three Fire Tems that Tyrannac just doesn't really do anything to, so I shouldn't have brought Tyrannac. Honestly, they're just going to double into the Golzy slot again, because they have no reason not to. So we're going to Sharp Leaf into Tolkien. Actually, we can just Hasty Lunge into Tolkien again. I don't know if Golzy has the damage to take out Tolkien, though. And honestly, they might just swap into Osakai or Tyrannac. Let's Sharp Leaf into that slot, and we're going to Hasty Lunge into that slot. I'm pretty confident that Golzy can take a Harmful Microwaves from Hedgen, but I'm not 100% on that. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, okay. I should have guessed. Yep, I should have guessed. That's a bit frustrating. Bait, that's cool. And Harmful Microwave into Golzy. Their Hedgen is real slow. We're going to Outgrowth, and then we're going to Hasty Lunge into Hedgen. Do I want to do that? I mean, I've lost this game, honestly. There's not really much that I can do to come back from this. It was such a heavy lead on their part, and I made a bad call switching Golzy in. I should have picked Tolkien. But so let's Hasty Lunge into Hedgen. Oh, that's why, because Tyrannac's... Wow, that almost one-shot Hedgen. If that had one-shot Hedgen, I would have been so happy. That would have turned the whole game around. I forgot that he had bait up, so that did nothing. That was a waste of my Outgrowth. Meteor Swarm. I don't think I would ever take Meteor Swarm on Tyrannac. I'd rather have Sharp Leaf, honestly. Just because Sharp Leaf gives me the versatility to do something at the beginning. So I'm guessing that they're bringing in Tolkien. So we're going to bring in Tolkien as well. Oh, Platymus, okay. Platymus can Rotten Goo, or it could Water Blade. I'm going to guess it's going to Water Blade into Tolkien. But we're going to Sharp Leaf into Platymus, and then Windburst into Platymus. Yeah. Into Tyrannac, I'm guessing. Yeah, that didn't do a whole lot. So that's resisted. Let's Sharp Leaf again into Platymus, and then I think we're going to swap Tolkien out for Acronox. because I'm probably going to be taking an Aquatic Whirlwind, which it's going to suck to take an Aquatic Whirlwind to the face with Acronox, but it's fortunate that they didn't Aquatic Whirlwind. But now they're just going to use bring in Tolkien. And Tolkien has Tornado up. It's not like I can do anything. Let's Outgrowth. And then I think I'm just going to, because they're just going to Tornado, so we're going to swap in for Tolkien. They'll have to throw pretty hard in order to lose this game, because they're just so far ahead of me. Tyranic can deal with Osakai, but that's only if they bring Osakai in, which they have no reason to right now. I need to deal with Tolkien. The sooner I get rid of Tolkien, the better, but Tolkien resists both of my Tems, both of their stabs. In fact, all of their moves, because I only have stabs for both of them. That's one of the issues that I have with... Oh, I just clicked Outgrowth too. So that's good. One of the issues that I have with Temtem is that they don't give a lot of versatility in movesets. It's pretty much solidly exactly what your typing is, which kind of annoys me, but it's not the end of the world. So we're going to Sharp Leaf Osakai, and then we're going to Fire Tornado Tolkien. Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, that's game. I mean, it's been game. I'm just kind of like fighting the inevitable end, so to speak. Sharp Leaf, and then I think we're just going to Sting into Tolkien. I mean, they're just going to Tornado and kill Acronox, but hey, at least I got a Sting off. Yep. Wow, that did a lot of damage. Hey, but I killed Osakai. And they have a very healthy Tyranic. Just gonna Sharp Leaf. Actually, you know what? Let's Flaming. Nah, let's just rest Tyranic. It doesn't matter. They're just gonna kill him. That's fine. Good game. Okay, I need to get my head in the game and really focus up, because I think that I am just not paying attention to what I need to be doing. So we're going to ban one of these two. Let's ban Chromion, just because I don't want to deal with that. Okay, and then we're going to bring... What do we bring into that? Minotaur. Who do I think that they're going to bring with the Electric Tem? Probably... Oh, I'm blanking. Volphy. That's the name. Probably Volphy. So let's bring Platimus. Let's see what they bring. Oh, okay, Monka. Monk? I can't remember. Monk something. Let's ban Zalbian, because it's got the Electro Punch. Okay. Platimus. I think we bring Tolkien here. And then who else can we bring? I could bring Golzy. I don't know if I want to double up on my Electric Tems, considering that they have 2 Earth Tems though. So let's bring Lowali. I am really bad with names today. Mimit and Acronox. I think we can bring Golzy here, just because it's going to be super effective into most of these Tems. So we're going to bring Golzy. It's risky because Acronox is an Earth Tem, but with the extra damage that I can deal from like Uppercut and Oshidashi into the Earth Tems, it's not too bad. Fast charge. Okay. I think we double into Monko with Hasty Lunge and Water Blade. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, that goes first. That's gonna hurt. Oh my god, I was like, did that one shot? I almost did. Sure got close. I'm surprised Monko outsped my Minotaur. That's gonna hurt. And the minus speed. Oh right, Determined, I forgot. That's very useful. Who do they bring in with Mimit? It's gonna be another one of them, which is kind of annoying. If I keep Minotaur in, he's dead. I mean, they might double into Platimus, honestly. So I think I'm going to rest Minotaur, and then we're going to swap in for Golzy. I'm in a bad spot, if I'm being perfectly honest. Yeah. That'll lower my speed, unfortunately. Doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does lower my speed. Let's bring in the Wally here. And then we are going to double into the Gazuma with let's Oshidashi and Plague into Gazuma. See what they do. They might swap out, but I would be really surprised if they swapped out. Honestly, since Mimit is Gazuma, they don't really need to do a whole lot as far as like... Oh wow, that did like nothing. They can maintain Mimit in, and it shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's probably not going to do a lot either. Nope, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to just Gust into Gazuma. It's going to 4 times resist it, but it's at 0.9%, so I seriously doubt it's going to get anything out of it. And then we're going to Hasty Lunge into Mimit. Yeah. I didn't think it was going to survive that, even if it was 4 times resisted. Double screen. Okay, well now double screen's off, so... Oh, my Tems are so slow. -2 for Lawali. And that means Lawali's probably going to be taking a sting here. But let's Hypoxia into Acronox, and then we're just going to Oshidashi... Actually, you know what? Let's Plague Mimit. And then we're going to Oshidashi their Acronox. Okay, so they swap in Platimus. Soil Steam, okay. Dang. But that's fine. Now I have Tolkien and Lawali, but I don't want Tolkien in against Platimus. So let's bring Platimus in. And then I think we're just going to probably lose Lawali here, but we're going to Hypoxia into Platimus. And probably Rotten Goo into Platimus. That was smart. Double Toxin Shower? Oh. That's really bad for me. Oh right, I forgot I have Drill. I keep forgetting that. Such a useful item. But it doesn't matter. Tolkien's dead. Platimus is going to be dead soon. I'm going to drop back down into gold. It's going to be great. Let's Windburst Platimus, and then we're just going to Rotten Goo Platimus. Actually, you know what? Let's Aquatic Whirlwind their Acronox. Bye-bye, Tolkien. Oh, right, I forgot Tolkien's beefy. Bye-bye, Platimus. Let's see if Tolkien survives. Tolkien does survive, but it's just down to Tolkien, so not really a whole lot that I can do there. Mimit comes in and duplicates Acronox. Let's Tornado Mimit. Yeah, that's gonna be the end. Because they can just Sting again, and Sting's gonna take me out. We'll Windburst, but it's a moot point. We did a little bit better than I was expecting, honestly, at the end there. I was expecting it to be a more severe loss, but hey, you know, back down into gold. Again. Good game. Callus. This is the first time I've seen Kinu in a while. It looks like they might be... No, not entirely, but they could do late Torment with Acronox. Do they have any electric times? They have Garunder, who I have trouble with anyway, so let's ban Garunder. What do I lead with? I could lead with Minotaur. Yeah, let's lead with Minotaur and see what they do. Valash, that makes sense. Kind of. Because then I can just lead with Tolkien as well. I guess they could bring in Valash and... oh my god, I'm like... Shallant. I'm so bad with names today. But they can bring Shallant in, and then they'll have Welcomer, and Welcomer will prevent Valash from getting any attacks right out the gate, which would be kind of annoying. But then I can bring in Platimus, and Platimus has Drill, which could just ignore the evasion, which would be nice. Looks like they're going to try and double into Minotaur, but I'm pretty sure Valash doesn't get access to any turn 1 crystal moves, so I'm not really afraid of Valash. Let's bring in Tolkien. I have no reason not to, honestly. Other than the heater, which would kind of suck, but, you know. Heater actually is beneficial, I think, in this circumstance. So who do they ban? Who do I ban? Hedgen? Maybe I ban Kinu here. Because I don't really want to deal with Kinu shenanigans, so... I have stuff that can deal with Kinu, but I don't know if Kinu might have... it might be bulky and have sacrifice. And if it's bulky and has sacrifice, it's going to be a pain in the butt. I know both of these Tems can do evasion, so let's bring Platimus just for the evasion. They bring Whiplump to deal with Platimus, that makes sense. And technically they could also do that with Tolkien. Yeah. So I think we're going to bring Luwali, because Luwali completely walls Whiplump and can do decent damage into Acronox. Minotaur only has Hasty Lunge as its attack, so I'm probably going to be swapping it out immediately after I attack with it. But honestly, I might not even attack with it. I might just swap out for like... Actually, yeah, let's bring Tyrannak. And then I'm going to swap Minotaur out immediately for Tyrannak. And then we're going to Wind Burst into Acronox. So this way, if they keep Valash in, Valash is going to be facing down 2 Fire Tems, which he's not going to want to deal with. So we're swapping in for Tyrannak, and we're going to Wind Burst Acronox. So I'm guessing that they have Cobweb on Acronox, so they're probably going to sting into the Tyrannak slot, which is going to be a bummer, but it's ultimately fine. Oh, they sting into the Tolkien slot. They want to keep Tolkien in. That makes sense. Except that Cobweb doesn't trigger because of Intimidator. That's a beefy Acronox. So let's Sharp Leaf into Whiplump, and then I think we're going to swap out for Lawali. Just because Lawali can deal with Acronox as well. With Hypoxia. And this way, in case they do decide to keep Whiplump in, it's not really going to do much damage to... Well, it might do a water attack into Tyrannak, which can do damage, but Tyrannack's so beefy, it's not really that threatening. Let's see what they do. Eventually. They take a long time to make their decisions. Alright, let's see what they did. It'd be real funny if they had done Venom Spread. Okay, Shaolant. So they did Water Cannon into Tyrannak, that does make sense. Oh my god, that did 50%? That was Sharp Leaf. Sharp Leaf did 50%? Okay. That's pretty bonkers, but we're going to Outgrowth. And then I think we're just going to refresh Lawali. Let's see what they do. They're probably going to bring in Hedgen. And Hedgen will get Welcomer. Oh, Acronox, okay. But Intimidator! Yeah, that's not going to do a whole lot. So now they're both trapped. Let's, we're going to Flaming Meteorite their Shaolant, and then I think we're just going to... Do I think Gust will do enough? 28% plus 2. If I swap Tyrannak out for Minotaur, and then I use Gust, that'll definitely do it. Okay, so they didn't... Oh, they can't swap. That's right. Minotaur. Gust will take out Acronox. Against who? Wally or Minotaur? Minotaur? Okay, that's not going to do a whole lot. Ooh, that did a lot more than I was expecting. That's fine, though. He overexerted for that, so it's not the end of the world. Valash makes sense. Not the best decision, but it does make sense. So yeah, I'm just going to swap back out into Tyrannac, and then we're just going to... I can refresh again with Lawali if I wanted to. Do I need to? Or would I rather use Plague? Plague will drop me down to 18 with 81. That gives me 7, which would be 25. Not enough for another Plague after that. So maybe I should refresh and then Plague. Honestly, Valash might do enough damage though, because I think it's got base jump. Oh, it didn't stay in. Let's Black Hole into Showland, and then we're just going to Plague into Valash. Okay. Whoa, that did way more damage than I was expecting. That's probably going to be bad for you, buddy. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure Minotaur can take him out from there with Piezoelectric Blow. Will Hasty Lunge be enough? I think Hasty Lunge might be enough, but I don't know if I want to risk it. What happens if I... Honestly, I don't need Minotaur for much other than maybe Whiplump and maybe Hedgen. So if I focus Hedgen, I can Hasty Lunge or Piezoelectric Blow into Hedgen. Actually, I don't need to even do that. I'll Hasty Lunge, and then I'm just going to Plague into Valash. Oh, I should have just used Gust. Yeah, there goes Hedgen. Even if it uses Sharp Stabs, that'll take out Minotaur, but Minotaur's done his job. Crystal Spikes, okay. That's a special attacking Valash. That's something else. Not at all what I was expecting. Whiplump and Showland. So we're just going to Hasty Lunge into Whiplump because, yeah, kind of figured. Good game. I think I already faced Hatoto today. Oh, I did, yeah. There goes Platimus. I lost to Hatoto, so we're going to see if I can't do better this time. So they have a lot of fire Tems. I need things that are going to be resilient to the fire Tems. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot that's resilient to fire Tems. Since they're very fire heavy, my team's at an extreme disadvantage without Platimus. And it makes sense for them to auto ban Platimus, because that's the only thing that is going to have any chance of stopping them. Let's bring Minotaur and Golzy. We're just going to double into the Hedgen slot with electric attacks. Because what happened last time is they brought in Tolkien, and they one-shot basically my Minotaur. Okay. Hedgen is their primary damage there, so I think what I'm going to be doing is going to be doubling into the Hedgen slot. They're probably going to use Harmful Microwaves into the Golzy slot, and then Fiery Soul into Golzy, but I'm hoping that Golzy outspeeds with Hasty Lunge. Let's ban Drakash again, just because Drakash is going to be a problem. I'm not entirely sure why they ban Volarend as opposed to like something else, but it's fine, I guess. We're gonna bring Acronox, and then I think we're gonna bring Lawali as well. Okay, and I think we're gonna bring Tolkien here. Do I want to bring Tolkien? Lawali can do damage into everything but Tolkien. Tolkien can't really do damage into most of this. No, that's not true. It can do 1 times to at least everything. And 2 times to Platimus. But Platimus is going to outspeed regardless. Tolkien can take a Water Blade though. But I have 2 Electric Tems. As long as they both survive, then they should be able to deal with Platimus. I think I need something that can deal with Osekai, so I think I'm bringing Tyrannak here. I think Osekai is the bigger... Oh no, Tyrannak was a bad bring. I knew it was a bad bring last time. Oh, I didn't learn my lesson. Did not learn my lesson. That's fine. It's good into Osekai at the very least, so... Okay, so we're going to double into the Hedgen slot with Hasty Lunges. They could swap in Tyrannak, but I'm not sure who they're going to swap Tyrannak in for. I think it's going to be... They might double swap. If they double swap, then I OX my Minotaur, and that's not great for me, but not the end of the world. I think it's just going to be a 50-50 gamble here. They might swap in Tolkien, or they might swap in Hedgen. I think Hedgen's a bigger threat, so they're probably going to swap in for Hedgen, so actually let's double into the Tolkien slot. Oh no, okay. Surprised that they went for just enough. But Minotaur OX there, so not like it did a whole lot to help me. But hey, doing better this time. Okay, we're gonna swap out for Tyrannak. And then what I could do is I can Hasty Lunge into Hedgen. Hedgen outspeeds for sure. And I think what what Osekai's gonna do is not go for an Earth attack. I think he's gonna go for a hook. So let's Hasty Lunge into... Do I want a Hasty Lunge? I know Hedgen outspeeds my Golzi. I could Oshidashi into Osekai. I really want to get rid of this Hedgen though. So if I can get rid of Hedgen, that removes a lot of problems for me. Not really, because I have Acronox. So yeah, let's Oshidashi into Osekai and see what happens. Come on, Tyrannak. Ooh, that did a lot to Golzi. Yeah, figured he was gonna go for a hook. Only 39%. That's not stellar. I'm gonna Sharp Leaf into Osekai, and then I think Golzi we're gonna swap out for. Or do I lose Golzi here? Might just lose Golzi here. We'll Hasty Lunge into Hedgen and see what happens. I'm anticipating getting outsped by Hedgen, but I guess we'll see. Because I'm pretty sure it outsped me last time. So I think Osekai is probably going to do Dust Vortex again. So, ooh, okay. They swap for Platypus. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I outspeed. Wow, and that almost one-shot. Into Tyrannak. Oh, into... Seemed like overkill, but alright. pretty decent damage. We're gonna bring in Acronox here. And we are just gonna yeah, let's Outgrowth, and then we're gonna Sting into Platimus. I'm gonna be okay with Hedgen doing an attack. I don't think that I'm gonna be super okay with it, but I get the feeling that they're gonna be swapping Hedgen out. I think for Osakai. Or Tyrnak, I should say. Yeah, here comes Tyrnak. Oh, it is Osakai. Oh, man. They're making some interesting decisions. That's fine. Tyrnak's about to do a lot of damage to both of those Tems. And trap them in. Cool. So we're going to Sharp Leaf into Osakai, and then we're just going to Sting into Platimus again. I think that that'll take out Platimus. I'm hoping it takes out Platimus. It might leave him with like 0.1 or 0.2%, which would be a super huge bummer. Rude, but makes sense. Okay, take out Platimus, come on. Cool, alright. Then Sharp Leaf will take out Osakai. Nice. That should pretty much wrap up this game. I don't really see them coming back from this. What do they have left? Tyrnak and Hedgen. And a really low HP Hedgen at that. I have a +2 speed Acronox sitting in front of this Tyrnak. So let's Flaming Meteorite Tyrnak, and we're just going to Sting into Hedgen. And that should take out Hedgen. It's 50% reduction in damage because it's resisted, but yeah. Hedgen's HP is so low and its defenses are so weak. Plague? I love seeing Tyrnak with Plague just because they're just... It's such a bad idea, in my opinion. In my personal opinion, I feel that Plague on Tyrnak is not in any way optimal. So we're just gonna rest Tyrnak, and we're... Yep, there we go. Cool, cool, cool. Good game. Well, I fluctuated a bit between gold and diamond, so I'm sitting pretty okay at Diamond Division 1, Diamond 1 Division 1. I'd like to climb a bit higher. Honestly, I'd like to be thoroughly into Diamond, but maybe this is the limit of my ability. We'll see. I'm still learning and trying to improve, but maybe I need to look into making a better team or changing up my team a little bit. Either way, I guess we'll see. But I hope everybody has a good rest of your day, night, afternoon, whatever, and I will see you next time.